Hi and welcome. My name is Julie Holshire and I'm from Wiring Kids. Today we'll be discussing tips for baby sleep in the fourth trimester. You cannot separate sleep from feeding, so I will be weaving information about feeding into this presentation as well as sleep. This is beautiful baby Heidi here asleep in the photo. As you can see, she is wrapped. This is what we call swaddled. And why do we need to swaddle babies? Is because they are born with the startle reflex. And the startle reflex means if they get a fright, their arms flail out. So we like to put their little hands close to their chest and to swaddle them so that they are feeling cocooned in the fourth trimester. So what to expect? Each baby is unique. Each set of parents are unique. And the parents need to learn from their babies what their babies need. Does your baby need to be fed? Does your baby need to be cuddled? Does your baby need a nappy changed? Parents are learning up from babies what they need. So if we look at this slide, I love this slide because mum looks so glamorous after a long labour and dad looks absolutely exhausted. But baby Heidi needs to feed frequently. So she needs to have somewhere between 6 to 12 feeds in a 24-hour period. But we also know that her sleep is irregular and she will sleep in blocks from 20 minutes to 4 hours in a 24-hour period. So mums and dads don't get the normal sleep that they have had, but we know mums are being prepared for this broken sleep in the third trimester. So mums have to be patient because she's just not learning to breastfeed. Baby's also learning to feed as well. So you have to learn to do that tandem together. Babies also need mums and dads to calm them, to help settle them, and to help them go to sleep. So it is really important that during this trimester you particularly care for each other as you both get quite tired. Babies learn about the world through their senses. This gorgeous photo here of Heidi looking at us, wondering who we are, where do we fit, what is going to happen next. So these are some of the senses, or these are all the senses that we have. So the first 5 senses you're quite familiar with, but the 2 at the bottom you may not be. But I am going to talk about and go through each sense. So the sense of smell, when your baby is in the crook of the arm, they can smell what deodorant you have on. They quickly learn that mum smells like this, dad smells like that, grandma may smell like this. And they memorize that smell. That goes into the brain and it's hardwired in very quickly that that's the smell of my parents. Hearing. Babies have been listening to mum and dad's voice throughout the last few months of the pregnancy, so they find that voice very calming. Taste. When a baby takes milk from the breast, the taste buds are absolutely stimulated because breast milk absolutely changes in taste at every feed depending on what mum has been eating. The sight. Baby is looking intently at your face, trying to connect the hearing with the smell, with the sight. So they are intently looking at your face, and this gorgeous baby here is really smiling back saying, I I love you too. So touch, baby has learned in utero about this is mum's touch, this is dad's touch, this might be baby brother's touch, which is a poke in there, so that when you hold babies, they are very calmed at you and they are learning to connect what you smell like with what you're doing touch-wise. The movement and balance sense is a sense when you rock baby, you are aiding your baby to learn about space awareness, and this helps your baby with their posture and muscle tone. So every time you rock baby, and babies love to be rocked, this is helping this sense to develop. So the body awareness sense is when your baby is learning where their limbs are and what they can do with their limbs. So in the first 10 to 11 weeks, baby will move their hand towards their face and they'll poke their finger in their eye. And then by the time they are 12 weeks, they are learning to get some control of that limb and they'll start to move their hand backwards and forwards in front of their eyes. So sleep in context. What does this mean? Well, a lot of things play a part in helping your baby go to sleep, and your baby's health is a part of that. So, what type of delivery did your baby have? You know, or what type of birth did they have? Not delivery. Mum does the delivery, baby does the birth. So, what type of birth did baby have? Were they a prem baby? All of these can play a part in how your baby is sleeping. Hereditary. Ask your partner's mum. Ask your mum what type of sleepers you both were. Were there any sleep issues that she was aware of in each family that may be hereditary? The same with temperament. We need to ask that too. And ages and stages of development. In the first 12 weeks, the baby's development is getting to know you. They are starting to smile at about 6 weeks. And at about 12 weeks, as I said, they'll be moving their hand backwards and forwards. That's just some of the development that is going on with your baby in that fourth trimester. Attachment. We all worry at times about whether we are attached to our baby the way we should be. If this concerns you, please talk to your child health nurse or your doctor about your feelings. We do know as long as baby has one caring parent in their lives, good attachment is occurring. The types of sleep. There are two types of sleep, the REM sleep and the non-REM sleep. But let's just focus on the REM sleep for a minute. This is the very light sleep. This is where babies are practicing what they're learning in their sleep. So whatever your baby is learning at the moment is what they will be practicing in their sleep. So they do repetition, repetition. When they're smiling, you'll watch them smile in their sleep. When they're moving their hands purposely, you'll watch them moving their hands in their sleep. The non-REM sleep is the very deep sleep. This is the sleep where babies, and where we all do, is repair and regrow tissue and build muscle and bones, as well as strengthening our immunity. However, during this very deep sleep, it is very hard to wake babies up. And so when we are trying to wake babies up is a challenge. It's just like when you get kicked in the middle of the night by your partner who says, the baby's crying, and you go, whose baby? What baby? Because you were in such a deep sleep you didn't cry. So, tired signs? Every baby's tired signs are unique, and we really have to observe our babies to learn about their tired signs. So no baby does all of these. They do a few of these, or they may do 70% of these signs for tired signs. So this baby is yawning, and we've also got the fist clenched in there in this photo. So we do know that if your baby is crying because they're tired, you have missed tired signs. So what does that cry sounds like? It sounds like a cry that you might do when you're sitting on the couch and you go, I'm so tired, help me go to sleep, but I want to watch the end of the movie. And then when you go to bed, you can't go to sleep. Same thing happens to baby. You have to wait for the next cycle to come round. So if you've missed that cycle to get your baby to sleep. So please watch the cues for your baby's tired signs and then pop your baby into bed and help them go to sleep. So the feed sleep pattern, or what we know about this, is if babies are getting less than average sleep in a 24-hour period, we need to really watch their tired signs and then help them go back to sleep or go to sleep, and then when they wake up after a sleep cycle, help them go back to sleep by rocking or patting to sleep, so that we can try and help baby increase the amount of sleep they're having in a 24-hour period. Feeding. Sometimes babies just have short feeds and don't want any more, and then you pop them down and rock them and they go to sleep, and then they wake up a few minutes later. We need to try to wake babies up to help them have a good feed, and then to be able to go back to sleep. How long is a good feed? Every baby is unique. So some babies may take 40 minutes, some babies may only take 10, 15 minutes to feed. Crying babies, we do know that crying increases during the 6 to 12 week period, and the crying increases up to 2 to 3 hours a day. This is normal. Your baby isn't sick. It is perfectly normal development. So you have to look at some strategies that you can do to help your baby when they are crying. And this might be to give baby a bath, to rock baby, to take baby for a walk, or to put baby in the C position that we call it, or fetal position, where the back of the head goes into your cleavage and then baby's little legs are drawn up. So they're in a fetal position, and this puts the legs pressure on their tummy so that they can pass wind or have a fart, or they can have a burp. But every baby cries, and please look at some ways for you to stay calm during this period, like breathe. And if it gets too much, put baby down and walk away, have a glass of water, and then come back to baby. So some strategies that we might be able to implement is babies don't need too many playtimes in the first 8 weeks. Being held by parents and bathed in language is play for your baby, because your baby is getting to know you. However, when you observe those tired signs, decrease the stimulation. No TV. Change the tone of your voice to be dull and boring, and to be able to wrap baby up and to put baby down in the cot so that they are able to go to sleep. What baby wants from parents is to be persistent and consistent with their settling. So not do lots of different things. Try just to do one thing and use the same cues about going to sleep, such as you might sing the same song when it comes to sleep time in a dull, boring voice. That might be Baa Baa Black Sheep, have you any wool? It doesn't matter what song you're singing. It's a dull, boring voice that you're wanting to let your baby know it is sleep time. So parenting as a team, it's very important that you really take care of each other and talk about what your heart says and listen to you both. Talk to each other and say, what does my baby really want from us? If you have family around and you are finding it quite tiring, do ask for help. But the help isn't to hold baby unless you want them to hold baby. Help is to be able to do the washing, the ironing, the cooking, the cleaning. This allows you to care and get to know your baby. Babies need your help to learn to feed, settle, and sleep. Enjoy your baby. It isn't a race to get your baby to sleep. It is a race to get to know your baby. Thank you.